Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Menzo, this is my forever co-host Jum. Today we talk about Superbad to end this high school lineup. And yeah, if High School Musical was like the glitz and glam of like a fantastical life in high school, this is high school. It's reality, like Coach Carter.
This is real high school life. Like, oh my god, this was too high school.
Yeah,
In my opinion, I was like, I know a lot of people like this, and it's so weird.
and like again, this movie doesn't have the biggest of stakes. It's just three boys trying to get their hyakyon. But yeah, that's about it. Stars Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse as McLovin.
Fogel.
Fogel. Yeah.
Yeah. McLovin as his as his legal name.
Yeah. And like I remember reading something that this was made by Seth Rogen and like based on his high school life, based on high school experiences of him and Bill Hader, who are also in this movie. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Not making fun of them, but like, yeah, based on my high school experience is very different just because of what my high school was. But
Yeah.
like everything else about this movie, yeah, else about this movie, you're like, yeah, I get them. I get the pressures of high school life and how difficult peer pressure can be, and like the
Yeah.
pressure to be like, oh, I'm going to college and I don't have anyone. I need to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, holy shit. This again, as I said, it was very too high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oddly enough, we don't here in the Philippines. We don't really have much of those
House
house
parties.
parties
Yeah.
where like the parents would leave for a week, and the kid they just give him or her like a couple of like bucks, and then
Go nuts.
they go off, and then the kid just like takes care of themselves
Yeah.
while they're alone. I don't think we do that a lot here. I think only the rich do that.
Yeah, like that's why watching these American high school movies growing up was so weird for me, because I'm like, they do that in the States? We don't do
Right.
that. I like,
We don't
unless
do that. Like house parties are like, again, you're either like have this whole Western ideal of like what a house is, or you're rich.
yeah, like the most
know?
I've ever gone to someone else's house for like game night. That's about it.
Right, or it's just like a small drink out. It's not like straight up maybe 30, 40 people in one house
Yeah,
with a swimming pool and like booze when you're not supposed to drink booze.
you're right. And like, they also like the Philippines has a different like age limit for drinking too. Like here it's like what,
18.
18. In the States it's
Yeah.
like 21. So like
I don't
I've had a couple of people cousins from the States who were like, but you're drinking at 18? Isn't it illegal? I was like, no.
Yeah, I got a cousin in the States who like we brought him to like BGC, just got him away like hella wasted because it was like one of his first times going out to a club.
Yeah. But anyway, the plot of this movie, as I said, is like Jonah Hill and Michael Cera Scaggers are invited to Emma Stone's party. Her name is Jessie, right? I'm like,
Jules.
sorry, yeah, Jules. Jonah Hill really wants to get with Jules, like really, really, and so he's like, "Oh, I've been put in charge of buying alcohol. I'm in charge of buying the fun." I'm like, well, Jonah Hill here is like the star for various amounts of reasons, like in like also in like the meanest of ways, where he's like calling Fogel like, "You are a fucking idiot. Why do you have such a lame fucking ID?" And Fogel's like, "Well, it was either McLovin or Muhammad." He's like,
Muhammad.
It's like, what the fuck is it between those names?
Muhammad is the most used name in the world. Read a book.
And Michael Cera goes, "Do you know anyone named Muhammad?" He's like, "Do you know anyone
No.
named Muhammad?"
Okay, from what I heard was like when they were filming this, the actor for Fogel bullied the hell out of Jonah Hill. Which I felt really bad. But their dynamic worked so well.
Right.
But knowing the fact that these two actors hated each other while they were filming this, but they had to be friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was that type of friend who like had zero respect for this friend.
Yeah.
Worked really well. The fact that he bullied him, so I'm like, not an advocate for bullying, but like,
Yeah, Jonah Hill's character, you feel like has no respect for anything aside from like getting with someone. Like especially like in school when he like interrupts a game, everyone else is like, "What the fuck are you doing? We're losing. Get the fuck out!"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, like if you were in my team, you might have been beaten up for doing that."
yeah, with the jocks, and like we also see like James Franco's brother here.
Yeah, Dave Franco.
Yeah,
Also, I believe this is Emma Stone's like breakthrough role where people were like, "Who is that?" I like that.
And then she got Easy A, and then from there it's like La La Land and all that.
Yeah.
Zombieland.
And now she has that Frankenstein movie, Poor Things, with Mark Ruffalo. And now she's, again, might be getting an Oscar this year. I wouldn't be surprised because she is a great actress.
Yeah.
Though I think my first memorable role of her was Gwen Stacy. So that's that.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was there.
Yeah. But yeah, I do love the scene where Fogel's getting liquor and he passes the test of like the cashier's like, "Yeah, you're legal age, no questions," and he's like, "All right."
Yeah.
And then
He's like, sure. He gets knocked out. Yeah, and then like, of course, there's some miscommunication here where Michael Cera's character and Jonah Hill's character walks back after doing something heinous. Sure, I get we're geeks and degenerates, but we don't want to get canceled. Yeah, like they come back, the cops are there to like ask Fogel some questions about who robbed the place, but on their end, it's like, crap, you got caught. I didn't know you get arrested for this.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh," and like Jonah Hill has like an amazing freak out. Like I don't know if you ever seen his like audition tape where he's just like you're like, "Oh my god, you really are a foul-mounted kid." Like I might have been grounded for life if I talked like that back in my day. It's like, what the fuck? Who's gonna buy the fucking drinks now? We're fucking fucked. You're like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, which oddly enough sounds like a teenager.
Yeah.
Like again, they're the type of kids who like learned how to curse, and they just want to use it in every bit of their vocabulary. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like that's why I like movies like this, and like even movies like It Chapter 1, where you're like, yeah, I definitely talk like that. Like
When we were kids.
Yeah. Like, I've discovered the fuck word. Fuck. And like, that's cool. And now you're like, shut the fuck up, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Michael Cera and Jonah Hill bumped into, forgot the character's name, but he's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Mr.
Boyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go to his party where more.
Oh, yeah, they go to the party while like Fogel goes off with the cops and just has a good time.
Yeah, cops played by Bill Hader and Seth Rogen, like very incompetent cops. But you're like, you know what? For now, it's fine. It's this type of movie, so there's really no crime happening, so they're fine. And these cops are one of the best characters of these movies because they're like, we can relate to you, and you can relate to us because we know what it's like to be in high school.
And we used to not like cops.
Yeah. Especially by the end when Seth Rogen's like, hey man, we don't cock block our friends. How could you? He's like,
he guide their cop.
guide. But it's in the adult party with Boyle where you're like, Jesus Christ, I don't think any of these ages appropriately today. Especially...
Oh, dude, a lot of shit don't age appropriately. Like Jonah Hill being behind Emma Stone here. Like, I was like, ooh.
No, stop it.
I swear to God, like, if any other actor did that role, like, scene today, they won't have another job.
I mean, if anyone did that in general, they'd be like, can you get the fuck out of this room? You're disgusting.
Yeah.
Isn't that in the adult party where... And then when I say adult, I don't mean, like, born. I mean, like, they're, like, 30-year-olds.
They're adults. Yeah. They're not teens.
Yeah. Like, Jonah Hill has a woman grind on him, and, like, she leaves something behind. And you're like, oh man. Oh, God, that's gross.
And then find out that like it's the fiance of the guy who was holding the party.
Like, who beat the shit out of boy? They're like, well, that's trouble.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like Michael Cera's like stuck in a room filled with guys doing coke. He's like, he has to sing.
And then Jonah Hill has to finds booze, but he doesn't know how to bring it. So he mixes like detergent
and like alcohol. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, I thought you're supposed to be the fun of the party, not the cause of the party dying.
Yeah. But yeah, he like, they go off, they run into McLovin again.
He gets hit by the police guy.
You could just like, ooh, the corrupt cop kind of method of like, you didn't see anything, right? We're friends, right? Like, sign this waiver.
Yeah. And I think this point, like, Jonah Hill's character is like, finally lets it out, like, I can't believe you're leaving college. We're supposed to go to the same college. I'm too stupid to be in your college. It's hard enough that your girlfriend doesn't like me because I used to draw dicks everywhere. Now you're leaving me.
Not girlfriend yet. Not girlfriend.
Yeah, not
like
yet.
The girl he likes doesn't. He doesn't like that girl because we have this whole fucking flashback. There I go again with the F word. Yeah, we have this whole flashback where we find out that he was addicted and really good at drawing dicks when he was a kid.
Yeah. Like, maybe in another genre you could have succeeded as an artist.
Bloomed as an artist.
Yeah, but not in this time of real life. And Jesse's like, I'll help you pick it up. What the fuck? Just starts freaking out as a normal human being should. I think if I picked it up, I'd be like, I need to go to therapy. What the fuck are you doing?
As a kid, like seeing a very well designed, like, penis.
But yeah, the point being, like, Jonah Hill's character is very clingy with his friends. So he's like, I can't believe you're leaving me. And he's like, what do you expect? I got into this college. Why are you just holding on to the fact that we're leaving for a bit? And the fact that he's with Vogel as a roommate doesn't make things better. He's like, I can't believe you. We're not friends anymore. We're like, my god, you were petty.
Yeah, that was the thing. Well, it's a very normal thing, though. Like, again, if a little bit of change happens to your dynamic, of course, one would not like that.
Yeah.
And that was a very high school to, like, teen thing. Like, y'all dreamt of, like, going to the same place together and never leaving each other's side.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, and I see where he's coming from, but at the same time, it is very selfish. I am on Michael Cera's side here, where, yeah, you can't hold him back from having good things.
Yeah.
That's not what a real friend is. You don't stay in the mud together. You try to make sure both of you try to get out in your own way.
Yeah. And then they go to the party where they all try to hook up with someone. Like, 2 out of 3 are successful.
2 out of 3, I guess. But, like, this was hard to watch, except for Fogel. Like, he was king. Like, all praise McLovin. This guy finally gets with the girl that he really likes. Also, I'm very uncomfortable knowing the fact that these are high school kids, and one was wearing a G-string, and they showed it to us, and I was just like, okay, I don't want to get arrested.
You're like, please, can you not? I get it, but like at the same time, you're like, that is inappropriate.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fogel gets what he wants, kind of, until the cops come in, and they're like, that's what.
No, I say it's a win for Fogel. I say it's a win.
Yeah. And then Seth Rogen's like, yeah, you're supposed to guide us, Doc, not block it. How could you? We were friends.
You see Bill Hader's so heartbroken about it, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell, McLovin? And like, as he's like chasing him with his car too, it's like, McLovin,
come back! Why? You're like, Jesus Christ. And then Michael Cera has, I think he's the most appropriate way to act in a situation where, like, you're drunk.
Yeah.
We cannot consent to this. Let's not do this now. Let's not.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And you're like, yeah, that's a good lesson. Like, do it when you have consent. Please, God.
Even though they try to twist the words where they're like, hey, if she's drunk and you're drunk, like, it's okay. I would say, no.
Yeah.
Try your best to do it as sober as possible. You don't want to make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, so he like the girl clearly is interested in him, and is like has the hots for him, but he likes her in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I would like to take it slow. I would like to go on dates with you and build up to the sex. I'm not in it just for the sex.
Yeah. And you're like, you know what? That's very admirable. And by the end, you're like, yeah, this is a very admirable ending for the character. Whereas Jonah Hill's character just crashes and burns in this party. First, he's like having.
I was like, if you can clearly see that this is fantasy, because if that ever happened to any of us, we're never talking to that girl ever again.
Right? Especially if he's like, I love you. You be my girlfriend for the summer, and then he just collapses.
Yeah, he's like crying, and he's like disappointed that the night didn't end the way that he wanted it to go, which is again a very kid thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's crying made me laugh so hard. Because like, hey, for sure, for fucking sure, we've all been there.
And the worst part is when he just collapses, headbutts,
and knocks it, like hits her face.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh god.
He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm sorry. You're like, please stop talking, man.
Yeah, and then like, I got a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that like he was pouring like the beer.
Yeah.
It's colored blue. I was like, oof.
Like,
and people were drinking it, and he was drinking it, and I was like, that's not safe.
yeah, you're like, again, if they die, it is on you.
Yeah.
But then, like, the cop, Seth Rogen and Bill Hader come, and Seth Rogen saves Michael Cera. But I think at this point, if I was Michael Cera, I'd be like, can you just please drop me at my home, and I'll just take care of myself.
Oh, that's not Seth Rogen.
Sorry, yeah. Jonah, sorry. I get this whole mixed up sometimes, you know. But yeah. If I was Michael Cera's end, talking to Jonah Hill, I'd be like, can you just leave my house? You selfish prick. I'll fix myself. Just go away.
But like, I guess it all works out. Like,
yeah, that's the weird thing.
Gets a little bit of street rep within the school. The fact that he went to like jail.
Yeah.
And then, what's this? And Jonah Hill and Michael Cera's character, they're like, kind of rekindled the friendship with a bit of understanding that they won't go to college together.
Yeah.
And it's a little sweet. Sometimes you want to say this to the boys, but of course, like, around that time, you're kind of a little bit scared to say, hey, I love you, man.
Yeah.
Which they do. And I was like, yeah, encourage that more. It's nice to say I love you to your friends. Love you, man.
Love you too, homie. But yeah, it all wraps up pretty nicely, and you're like, it makes sense in this high school setting.
Yeah, like they meet up with Jules and Becca.
Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah, and Michael Cera's character Evan goes on a date with her, and so does Jonah Hill's character with Emma Stone. And I'm like, that would have never fucking happened, knowing the fact that I gave her a black eye.
Right? And the fact is like, you know what, you kind of look badass. You're like, please just shut up, man. You don't stop. Just shut your mouth. Walk away. Like, I mean, Evans and Becca's story. You're like, well, that makes sense. They already are sweet to each other, and it makes sense that they would have a sweet ending. And then again, for like Jules and Jonah Hill, you're like, this would never happen in real life, but sure.
Sure, I'm happy that he gets a happy ending.
Yeah. And like it wraps up in a nice bow, and you're like, that was a fun movie. Kind of, not gonna lie, kind of cringy at times, but like, it's a nice ending. Where you're like, yeah, I'll watch this again. Even though, if I'm with like younger peers, I'd be like, hey, there are things in this movie that don't age well, alright? I just have to live with it. So it's the 2000s. I'm sorry. I just be like, I'm sorry. But yeah, what would you rate Superbad?
Man, it was a good time. Like, it's one of those movies where I watch with my friends, where we're like, oh, we're gonna be this kids, and we were. We tried to do as much like breaking the rules, getting drunk at very inappropriate ages, and like just having fun, and I love it. And it does give me a bit of a flashback to like when I was that age. And oh my god, I just turned 25. But yeah, and it was just fun. It was so fun. It was this Talladega Nights, the other guys, all these raunchy comedies,
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, holy shit. But yeah, these were all fun, and it gives me good memories. It really does bring me back to like a point in my life where, yeah, I was a kid learning new things, trying them out, and now as an adult, I'm like, my god, I wish I didn't do those things.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a give Superbad like a 7.5 out of nostalgia. Like not just out of nostalgia. It's still a good film. Does not age well. If anyone watches this in today, just know that this was a point in time where rules were a little bit looser. The social justice system wasn't really that much of a thing yet. Saying a couple of the words here at the time was a very frequent thing.
Yeah.
Take this with a grain of salt, but like it is a product of its time.
Yeah. Very a time capsule of the late 2000s.
Yeah, it's kind of like opening a like a capsule to like a horrible time where people were very horrible.
Yeah.
Or like kids would say things that they're like, "Ooh, we can't say that today."
Yeah. You're like, right. The 2000s where a lot of things were rampant, and now we know better. Yeah, I'll give this a 7 as well. It's a pretty good movie, pretty fun coming of age movie where, like, again, there's not the biggest of stakes, but to these kids' hearts, you're like, oh, these stakes might as well be the universe for them. And like the acting is pretty good, the story is pretty funny, despite like the things that make you go, wow, that didn't age well very much. Still a good time, and like if you're a part of our generation, you go back and you might have the same reaction of like fun, but like Jesus, were we very unaware at that point. But like if you're new, I understand why you'd be like, this doesn't age well at all. Both sides are pretty valid. But yeah, both 7s out of 10s. It's a very, how would I say it's a classic? I guess for this generation.
Yeah. I would say it's a classic or a cult classic.
Yeah.
Superbad.
Yeah, it was coming out at the time when like a lot of like Seth Rogen or like Judd Apatow led movies were coming out, like
Yeah.
this 40-year-old version were coming out. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the audience watching, what's your favorite comedy of this era, of the 2000s era? Whatever it is, comment down below. But if you like these videos, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to yours on the go. Individually, I am Zoda's Voices on TikTok. Where can I find you?
You can find me at JohnGL_, on Instagram. It is my account.
All links down below. And until the next one, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.